Okay. Okay, I'm live here on YouTube and Facebook, so we're just waiting for everyone to turn up. Yesterday, Facebook glitched. I had to stop the live. It wasn't working. Was it Facebook? Yeah. Hello. I hope it's working today. Yesterday, Facebook Live wasn't working, so I had to bail. But hopefully, it'll work today. So while we're waiting, I'd love to know where you're from. It says Rhea Love is watching. It says that twice. Why would it do that? I don't know. Facebook's acting weird lately on these lives. Okay, so I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. Where are you from? And because we're just waiting for people to turn up before we get going. So where are you from? It's gorgeous today in Vancouver. Sunny, beautiful. It's cold, but really nice. We get about maybe 1 week of snow every year. We don't always get snow, but yeah, we had snow, I think, in February, maybe January. Can't remember. But some people don't realize that. They think all of Canada snows all the time in winter, but yeah, Vancouver doesn't snow much at all. Kentucky, hi, Amanda. Finally cut you live. Jennifer Sund, Portland, Oregon. I was there, boy, when was I in Portland? Probably 1978. I drove down there. It's quite a distance from Vancouver, actually. Oakland, California. Denver, Colorado. So hi, Sean and Lacey. Okay, let's get going with the live. Mid-February here. You and us have the same climate. Okay. Really? I think you're probably a bit warmer. Yeah, it must be a bit warmer because you're down that much further south. What do I remember about Portland? That was a long time ago. That was, 1978. It's a long time ago. Okay. I think that's where some of the Twilight movie was filmed. The beaches there with the rock cliffs kind of. Was it filmed in Portland, Oregon? The Twilight movie? I was a Twi mom. I really got into it. Not proud of it, but I did. Okay, so let's get going with the live. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach, a mom. I'm also a grandmother. If you go on the link above or just head over to BratBusters.com, you can get my free behavior board, my courses, my coaching. I have a wait list for that. And you can look at our podcast. My daughter and I do the podcast together, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. So let's get going with your questions. I'll do my best to answer. Jersey. Hello, Justina. Never seen it spelled that way. Okay. My toddler doesn't listen to me when dad's home. He starts hitting, I need an age, actually. Sorry, I can't answer that. I don't know. Oh, okay. 3-year-old doesn't stick. Okay, good. So I consider a 3-year-old to be a child rather than a toddler because they can start to reason at that age. He listens to me when it's just us. I've been trying your methods. They work really well. But when my husband comes home, it's like everything I've been working with 3-year-old doesn't work. Okay. There's a few reasons that could be happening. I'm just going to guess at one. It's the fact that your attention is diverted. All of a sudden, dad's there and you and dad are talking to each other. I'm assuming that's it. Could that be it? I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing that, but you want to be as consistent as possible. So when dad comes home, I'm assuming that could be it. So, but I'm assuming dad would give him lots of attention anyway. So why would he act like that? I don't know. Is dad the pleaser? Is dad the one that lets him get away with stuff and your son uses that as leverage to sort of treat you that same way? That could happen too. Are you and your husband on the same page with parenting? So yeah, I don't know. But a 15-hour drive. God, is it that long? So I got to turn the heater down. I'm really hot. Did I actually drive 15 hours down to Portland in 1970? That was when I was a teenager. Driving was nothing to me back then. Now I'm like, ugh, are you kidding me? I guess driving was so much fun when I was a teenager. Now, not so much. Okay, just find it boring. Montreal. Hello, Montreal. I got to get back. I got to go to Montreal one day. Eastern Kentucky. I'd like to get down south. I'd like to get all over. Okay, so this is Morgan on YouTube. My daughter's 2.5. We try to be strong leaders. Are her meltdowns always a reflection of us? Even now? No, even now. No. They're a reflection of your parenting between the ages of 3 and 12, especially. Under that, they're just toddlers. They're just learning. They're just forming. So no, it's not. But it is sort of it should be your focus now to sort of teach her out of that stuff. So the way that you do that is you ignore tantrums, and they eventually will go away because they only do what works past the age of about 3 to 4, somewhere in there. It's actually around 3 and 9 months. They'll only do what works. So if tantrums are still getting attention, then they'll keep having them. Any attention is tantrum food. So yeah, no, that what they're doing when they're toddlers is just, it's just in there. They're going to try stuff. What's your take on manners on the behavior board? I want my 4-year-old to remember to say please and thank you, and hello, bye is putting manners acceptable. It's kind of in the attitude department. But I would never give them anything. Like my kids knew that if I was holding something they wanted, they had to say please. So, sort of taught them that. And then afterwards they had to say thank you. If they didn't say thank you, I might say, ooh, I'll hold that for a second. What do you say? This is only as they get older too. So yeah, I just sort of taught them that way. It just becomes a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, okay. This is from Amy. Sorry, my daughter's name is Amy. I don't know why I said that wrong. I tried the bedtime routine you suggest, and my 6-year-old was enjoying me bringing him back to bed and forth. Any other bedtime suggestions? Ontario, Canada. So they were enjoying bringing them back to bed, back and forth. Don't usually hear that. I'm just trying to think. 6 years old. Okay, 6. Because I say I kind of do that routine up to about 8. So let me think. They're enjoying that, back to bed. I might, what I might do instead of that then? I might just put it on the behavior board. If you don't follow bedtime routine, you can still follow through with that routine, okay? But if you don't stay in bed at night, then the next day there will be a consequence. So you can just put that on the behavior board. Usually they don't like it. Are you talking to them? Or I'm assuming you're not. So what's the payoff? The payoff is that they're controlling you. Maybe they're not that tired. Are they going to bed too early? How long is it going on for? Yeah, I'd have a few questions around that. Yeah, you can just put it on the behavior board and make sure that there's a consequence if they keep getting up. Texas. Hello, Sherry. How do I get my 2-year-old to stop whining when she wants something? She picks up the worst habits from daycare. Yeah, whining is something. If she wants something, she whines. She's too young to have the whining speech with. But I would just say if she's whining, I would just, it just depends on what she wants. So she's whining to get something. Is it something that she needs? I'd just give it to her anyway. And then if it's something that she wants, I don't know. I don't really deal with whining with 2-year-olds. But are you meeting her needs? Are you playing a lot? Because whining, they don't tend to do that as much when you play with them a lot. They just don't tend to. Yeah, there's not much you can do at 2. They're kind of loose cannons when they're that age. I'm going to read my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers. Number 1, childproof your home so you never have to say no. Number 2, set up a toy rotation system so they're never bored. Number 3, you connect with toddlers in their world. You don't connect at the nail salon. You go to the park and roll down the hill with them. They do look at you differently when you connect in their world. Number 4, discipline toddlers in their world, actions, not words. You use consistent corrective actions. But whining is not bad behavior. It's an inflection. It's just a little bit different. So yeah, stop trying to figure them out. The number 5, stop trying to figure them out. They're not figure outable. So yeah, you just might have to wait that one out for now. Virginia, hi Emma. Ireland, I've got a couple of clients in Ireland right now. Ireland, I sometimes mistake Scottish for Irish, but I usually can pick Irish accents. But I'm probably wrong half the time anyway. Okay, it's Jennifer's son. We're raising our grandson from age 3 months to 21 months currently. He has started ignoring us and screaming. We follow your methods of immediate action, but he's still continuing to intentionally do things he knows have a poor immediate action. Play with him more. Just try playing with him more. Their need is play. It's not one of the wants category. Their need is to play. And I'm wondering if you play enough in his world. They don't tend to act out as much when you know how to play with them in their world. So maybe try that for now. There's just so many different ways I could go with that. I always get stumped when I've got a million different ideas, but I'd need to sort of, delve into it a little bit more. But yeah, and if he's ignoring you, if you have to go somewhere or something, just pick him up under your arm and just take him out with you. Okay, let's go. We're going to get in the car. And he ignores you. I'd pick him up and put him in the car. Okay. Hey, Lisa and Amy, love your work. Having issues with 2-year-old. Amy's my daughter. We do the podcast together, in case anyone doesn't know that. Having issues with a 2-year-old and 1-year-old boy. My 2-year-old is being violent to his sibling. What does that mean? It doesn't mean much. It just means he's only 2. That's what it means. So yeah, I would just intervene and pick up the 1-year-old potentially. And I would sort of fuss over, oh, are you okay? But watch it. Is the 1-year-old grabbing stuff off the 2-year-old? Oftentimes the older one will rebel because the younger one's bugging them, or the other way around. So yeah, I'm wondering, just kind of keep an eye on them and maybe make sure that they both have toys they can play separately. But basically they're so close in age and they're very little. There's really not a lot you can do at this age. Just try and keep them separate and make sure they have their own toys. My daughter and I walk around a lot together, and we can tell when people have recognized us both. So she's getting recognition now too. And she noticed, she said sometimes when she's out on her own, she'll notice people will recognize her now. So, because she does a podcast with me and it turns up on YouTube so you can see it, right? It's kind of hard being recognized because it kind of makes you feel naked, but it's a one-way street. Everyone else is wearing their clothes and we feel naked if we get recognized. It's just the weirdest feeling. So, yeah. Sugarland, Texas. What a great place. I've actually heard of that before. I didn't know it was in Texas, but I've heard of Sugarland. Okay. By the way, if anyone there's a lot of toddler questions on here. If you have older kids, I do specialize in teenagers, so you can ask about older kids too. I do tend to, in the lives, get mostly toddler stuff. I'm going to read out just some cute things that happen with clients. I always get permission to tell these stories. I don't use names, obviously, but this was really cute. They made this up. I sort of started on this, but then I said, oh, Dad was not evidently very funny. And they had older kids, like teenagers, I think. I can't remember the age of the kids, but they were older. Yeah, they were teenagers. And so Dad's rule on the behavior board was he has to tell a joke every day. Like he has to look up a joke and tell a joke. They made this part up, I think. I can't remember how it went. But if it's not funny, his punishment was he had to do 15 push-ups because Dad wasn't really engaging in a fun way with his kids. So this is what we did. I came up with he has to tell a joke every day, but then they came up with, but if it isn't funny, he has to do 15 push-ups. I think I said if he doesn't do it, he has to do 15 push-ups. But then they came up with, but if it isn't funny, he has to do 15 push-ups. That's how creative you can get with that behavior board. You can have fun with it. Your consequences are more about connecting with the kids. So and just in case you don't know, the behavior board is completely free. It's a mini course on my website. And there's rules and consequences for every member of the family, 3 and over, and 3 years old and over. But yeah, you can have fun with it. I started just daycaring my granddaughter 1 day a week. And the other grandparents are taking the bulk. They're retired and they live right nearby. So, and I still work 7 days a week. Well, I still have to work a bit when I'm looking after her. But anyway, she's just a little doll. And she's only 14 months old. And I was doing this thing. I thought this was really interesting. I was just scratching the back of her neck, like tickling it. We were just reading books together. So it was a relax. So I was just tickling the back of her neck. And she was getting all goofy. You know how you get that tired, like I was sort of putting her out? She wasn't even tired. She just woke up from a nap about an hour before. So she's getting that real yawning, tired look. And then when I stopped, she went like this with her hand, like, and touch the back of her head, like, more, grandma, more. I thought that was so cute. So I had to keep doing that. You have to keep doing something, like all of a sudden now I was her slave and I had to tickle the back of her neck for like the next half hour. It was so cute. Yeah, she was letting me know more, more. Okay. This one I haven't heard for a while, but it does come up often, but it doesn't come up all the time, but it's quite common. How do you handle a soon-to-be 5-year-old when they get frustrated when they can't figure something out? Example, building a toy, it breaks and they just blow up like it's a tantrum. Ignore, he'll get frustrated, mad, and then it almost turns into a tantrum. Yeah, that's a short temper. That's impatience. That's something in their temperament that they're kind of born with that, especially when they're little. So if something doesn't go their way, basically they get mad. They can't put two pieces together and they throw it across the room and have a fit. That is something, yes, you do ignore. If he does throw whatever he's mad at, you have to pick it up and put it away and say, okay, all done then. And if he was trying to play with some toy that he likes, but it's not working out for him, whatever it is, I would pack it up at that point. And I wouldn't say much. I'd just say, okay, you threw it, so we're going to put it away now for a while. And let the tantrum happen. Never try and prevent the scenes, fits, meltdowns, and tantrums. Those are the lessons. You've got to let them get their anger out. You can't talk them out of that. That's something that's in them. You cannot talk them out of that. They will eventually stop doing it when they learn it doesn't work, because they only do what works about past the age of about 3.5 to 4. They only do what works. He will eventually stop doing that if it never works. But if you keep going in trying to save the day, if you just put that together and I wouldn't do that. It's not the way I would start handling that. I would say, oh, you're all done then. Okay, let's put it away. No, I just do, but I wouldn't be talking at that point. I love your videos. Newfoundland and Labrador. Excellent. Hi, Doris. Okay. 21-month-old takes all of his clothes off all the time. He's in backwards zip-up PJs for this reason. Can't help you with that. Just keep doing the backwards zip